Hello guys, I am JT Tech and today I will be introducing you to microbit coding. In this set of tutorials I will be teaching you how to use a microbit, which will include the coding and proper setup of the bit. First things first, let's take a look at what is actually in the box. You should have a short micro USB cord and the actual microbit. The components in your kit will vary based on what set or kit you've chosen to buy. Like you might have the board and then a bunch of other computer components and maybe a breadboard, or you might just have the bare bones, the board and the cable. Now I'm going to want you to give this bit a really good look, front and back, because everything on this board has a purpose. Just as a disclaimer, you should really treat your board well. It's really fragile and you don't want to have to buy a new one again. So yeah, just make sure you have it stored in a safe spot and you don't put too much pressure on it. And also just don't throw it at your walls, obviously. Now let's get to the coding part. We will be using a software called MakeCode, which is the official place to code your microbit. It's also a Microsoft product, if that means anything to you guys. Okay, let's take a look at our website. As you'll see, you have your bar on the top here. The only thing you really need to know on here is settings and sign in. Sign in you don't have to do, but you can if you want to save your progress across different computers. So yeah, you can change your language, your theme, you can report and reset all of your stuff. Like that, clears everything. And you can see here I used to have projects. Doing this reset clears all your projects. So there's this new project button, and next to it will show your other projects. Underneath it, you have this tutorial section. And this is where you'll have tutorials on how to do a bunch of different types of coding. And if you got a kit that had a toy in it, like a toy to make with a bit, this is where you'll find the tutorial for that. But for now, we're just going to head up and click New Project. You don't have to give it a name, but I will. So I'm going to write Test. And you'll see when you open up your new code, you'll notice you have two blocks, on start and forever. These two will always come when you open a new project. And these are really going to be your two basic ones you need a lot. And for now, we'll just use on start. So as you can see, you have all of these blocks in here in the basic tab. What you need to know is that when a block has a flat top, it cannot be put, something can't be put on top of it. That is the start of your code. And when it has a flat bottom, that means nothing can go after it. So basically, we will use the show icon, just put that in there, and we'll do a heart. As you'll see, your microbit has a 5x5 screen on the back. Not really a screen, LED panel. And you can display stuff on there. So we'll use a heart and say on start, show icon, heart. And this microbit right here will show us what our code will do. So if you put something else, like if you said frowny face, you see it goes gray for a second and then it comes back of what it would do. So for now, we'll set it back to the heart. And now you're going to take your USB cable, plug the USB A end into your computer, and then plug the micro USB end into your bit. And now you're going to notice a red light comes on, and that means your microbit has power. If you notice the yellow light, that means your computer is successfully connected to the bit. And once it's done that, you'll notice that you can go connect device down here, and you say next, in pair, you click on your microbit, you click connect, and you just got to do that again. Sometimes when you're doing this, you might have to refresh your browser. That a lot of the time will fix it. Connect device, connect it to microbit. There. And now you're just going to press download and wait for that to finish. And now you have that code on your microbit. So if you notice, the LED icon you selected will be displaying on the back of your microbit. And you'll also notice you have this A and B button, but they don't do anything because you haven't coded that yet. So yeah, that's literally the bare bones basics of it. So you can do that. You can also use forever show icon, but you don't really have to with the show icons because they will stay there forever until they're changed. So these two can be interchanged with this basic one. You also have stuff like show string, which when you use that, it will, yeah, see, look, that it actually, whatever you write will come across the LED screen. You won't be using that one a lot in our coding lessons, but it's good to know. You also have this clear screen function, which, remember I was mentioning how the show icon won't go away until you tell it to? This tells it to. This will clear the LED screen. So and you also have this pause one, which a millisecond, there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. So this lets you choose, make your code wait basically. So if you say 5 seconds, so you want it to show a heart and then you want it to show a frowny face, right? And you can set this to 5 seconds. You can set it to as much as you want. Then now you just press download and you'll see it shows a heart for a little bit. And then after about 5 seconds, it goes to your frowny face. That's what this pause is for. Now we're going to talk about the input section. And this might look overwhelming at first, but it really isn't that complicated. So let's bring up the first block, on button pressed. There is 3 possible options for this. You can have on button A, on button B, or on both buttons. And these, as you can see, are the start of code things. So if we have it say, when A is pressed, show check mark. When B is pressed, show X. And when both are pressed, show smiley, right? Like that. And you download it to your bit. And you can see A, B, and then both. On your actual bit, you won't have a button here. You will actually have to press both at the same time. I just do because I'm on computer running the simulation. So that's pretty simple. They're not that complicated. Now we'll look at the on function. As you can see, the microbit can notice a bunch of different things like shake, logo, all of this. These ones mean 3 and then G, like a number in G. That means the amount of gravity being applied on it. So 3G means 3G is applied to it. 3 times gravity, 6 times gravity, and 8 times gravity. That's not that complicated. And that's basically it for that block. And now here's the complicated part. To 0, like on pin 0, like this is pin 0, and you can touch it, right? But it's not meant to work like that. It can, but it shouldn't. So I personally wouldn't press on this because you might break it trying to, but you can do that for those 3. If you have an extension pack, pressing on the pin on the extension pack will not work. It's only these 3 pins, which it's kind of stupid, but it works. And now here you have 2 new types of things. You have the triangle blocks and the circle blocks. The triangle blocks can be put into one of these where it's logic. So if something is true, then, so this is used to check if something. So if button A is pressed, then show icon. But you don't really need to do that because you have this one. It's a lot less complicated. The circle blocks can be used for comparing. So if you go to math and you try to compare something, like if you want to do acceleration mg plus acceleration mg, you can do that. And then you also have the rest of these, light level and other things to detect in those. You also have on loud or quiet sound, which is another starting block. The microbit can actually detect its sound. And as you can see in the top, I'm being kind of loud. It can detect that. And that I can also set it if I have one of those blocks. You also have on logo pressed. I'm not entirely sure how this one works yet, but you have that. If you can figure it out, let me know in the comments. You also have logo pressed and sound level, these 2 more of these. And today we're not going to go into any more detail on the rest of these functions, so you will just know the basic and input. Thank you guys for watching my first tutorial. I hope that helped you understand a little bit better. I will be making more of these videos on the other functions when I get to it. I'm hoping to do at least 1 a week at this point until I finish the series. And then after the series, I might do the Arduino or the Raspberry Pi or something else like that. So thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.